Welcome, everyone, to World Wrestling Federation action. I'm Vince McMahon, along with the King, Jerry Lawler, and the Macho Man himself, Randy Savage. And this week, as we promised you, to highlight all of the action, the one-on-one encounter. The evil clown Doink meets the Big Boss Man.
Well, I would say that's going to be great, but the highlight is going to be even bigger. I'm talking about real big, 8 feet tall to be exact. The Giant Gonzalez, an interview with the most awesome force in the World Wrestling Federation.
Match is great. The interview's unbelievable, but I got something better than that. I experienced it myself at Monday Night Raw. The true highlight is the truest awesome force, and I was there with the chills going up and down my spine, and I'm still not coming down, and all the people all around the world are still on a buzz because Hulkster Hulk Hogan is back in the WWF. Oh, yeah!
No.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Accompanied to the ring by Mr. Fuji, weighing in at 505 pounds. Here is Yokozuna.
Well, we talk about highlights this week, and here comes another one to the ring. Yokozuna on his way not only to the ring here, but unquestionably on his way to WrestleMania, to Caesar's Palace.
The infamous Yokozuna. 3 weeks ago, he put a good buddy of mine, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, on the shelf. And don't you know that Hitman Bret Hart is watching him with 1,000,000% intensity because he puts his title on the line in Las Vegas.
You know, there's somebody else that's going to be watching him. All royalty stays in constant communication. The king speaks on a regular basis with the Emperor of Japan. Did you all know that? Do you realize that?
Oh, we had no idea.
Just the other day we were conversing, and he told me that he is going to be on hand in person at WrestleMania to see Yokozuna emerge victorious over Bret Hart. The entire nation of Japan is so proud of this champion.
Somehow I would adopt that very, very seriously.
I got it from the Emperor's mouth.
Personally, I don't think there's any affiliation. I don't think anybody could be proud of Yokozuna. I think he's acting on his own.
And there's no doubt that Yokozuna is, the Macho Man said, represents himself and Mr. Fuji. I don't know many individuals of Asian extraction that would want to be associated with Yokozuna.
You're trying to tell me you wouldn't want to hang out with that guy?
I did in the Royal Rumble right at the end, and I got tossed over the top rope. And Hacksaw Jim Duggan, he's on the shelf right now, and I'm just hoping that he gets better. I'm talking to Hacksaw right now.
And by the way, a little bit later on after this matchup, we're going to attempt to reach Hacksaw Jim Duggan's father, the chief himself, former chief of police in Glens Falls, New York. And, whoa, look at that.
This guy's awesome.
Yeah, I like it. What a way to start a match. Flat on your back. Look at that guy.
Reigning Brian West. You think about WrestleMania just around the corner, the aura of the magnificence of Caesar's Palace. Ooh, no, look at that.
I built that before, and I thought I went through the ring.
And you were talking about what you felt last Monday night. You have to speculate whether or not the Hulkster himself will be, at WrestleMania.
Well, nobody does it better than the Hulkster, and I'm thinking that, if he goes to WrestleMania, everybody's going to be watching him big time,
Just conjecture on our part, however.
You know, in every kingdom, there's always a white knight that comes riding to the rescue. I guess that's what Hulk Hogan thinks he is. But usually you come to rescue a damsel in distress.
Look at that!
Oh, I love it.
This man is out on his feet, no longer on his feet. Yokozuna nailing Brian West. And oh no. Here he goes. Yokozuna undefeated, 505-pound squashing Brian West. Will Yokozuna be the next World Wrestling Federation champion as he has his opportunity at WrestleMania?
Well, I love the Hitman. I think he's a fighting champion. But right now, I have to say, honestly, I think that he's the underdog going into a WWF title match. For the first time in the history of the WWF, the champion's the underdog.
Well, as much as I hate to admit it and agree with the Macho Man, He is the underdog, and I'll tell you this, somebody better bring a big spatula to WrestleMania, because they're going to have to scrape the Hitman right off the mat when Yokozuna finishes him like this.
Big man dropping a big leg, Yokozuna. Oh! And I don't even want to talk about that right there, but that is what can happen at WrestleMania, but I hope personally it doesn't for the Hitman.
Yokozuna watching himself. And you can bet he wants to take the World Wrestling Federation title away from the Hitman. Standing by right now, let's take you to Hacksaw Jim Duggan's father, the Chief himself. Standing by with us now, ladies and gentlemen, the father of Hacksaw Jim Duggan, former Chief of Police of Glens Falls, New York. Chief Duggan, are you there?
Yes, I am, Mr. McMahon.
Mr. Duggan, could you give us a condition report on your son, Jim?
Well, Jim's ribs